Hello and welcome back. This is video number 5, and in this video we're going to map out what we discussed in the earlier video where we basically brainstormed everything. So we are going to figure out, okay, how do we go from Pinterest to all of these items here? How do we go from YouTube to all of these items here? And then how do we go from Instagram to this item here? And so forth. Now, I want to say, for those of you who are not really visual and you prefer just text, some people learn that way. A lot of people are visual, a lot of people are kinesthetic. And for those of you who are that way, kinesthetic meaning you're more hands-on, and you learn that way, then this route is the best way to go. If you're auditory type learner, and you would prefer text and the visual actually just confuses you, you can skip this step. But for the most part, for the majority of you, what I recommend that you do is this. So we've got Pinterest. So I'm going to go back over here. So right now I'm using Lucidchart. That's Lucid chart.com. This is a site that I use and it is wonderful. I really like it just because being a visual / kinesthetic learner. So for those of you who don't know, there are 3 different types of people who learn different things. Auditory, meaning they prefer to listen. Visual means they prefer to visualize and see. And then hands-on, they prefer to see it but actually do it. So we have YouTube. So I'm going to type that up. So at the moment, what I recommend that you do is just type up every single social platform that you're going to use. So we've got YouTube, we have Pinterest. So actually in our plan, we have Pinterest first, we got YouTube next as kind of the majority or the main pieces of the puzzle. So we got Pinterest, we have YouTube, we've got Instagram. And then we have Facebook. We've got Twitter. So I don't know if you can tell, but I'm actually aligning things with Lucidchart. So it's very convenient in that way, in that respect. So you can see on the left side is 1 inch, on the right side is 1 inch. It just makes things a lot nice, organized, so that when you begin to implement the process, you don't have to think which goes where. And of course, last but not least, we have the blog. So let me just double check this. So we got Pinterest, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. So we've got Pinterest linking to Instagram. So let's go back over here. So Pinterest is the main where we upload content. So I put the things on the top to signify that we're uploading it here. So this could be maybe the green boxes, and then these down here could be a different color, maybe blue. So in my brain, green signifies the places that we upload, and blue signifies the places that we upload or don't upload, and we simply post to these places. Okay, so let's go back over here. We've got Pinterest. Pinterest goes to Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and the blog. All right, so let's implement that. So Pinterest goes to Instagram, Facebook, so Instagram. So what you do is just put your mouse over here and you drag, you press your mouse and you drag and drag it over here. All right, so let me move it back over here. So we got Pinterest to Instagram. We got Facebook, Twitter, and blog. So Facebook, where's Facebook? Here. Facebook, Twitter, and blog. Like that. So we could even just bring it down this, or even bring it down like this. All right, so There we go. Now, as you can imagine, things will start to get messy once you draw a ton of lines. So maybe just to simplify it, what I'm going to do is make Pinterest, let's say one color. Let's do dark orange. And I can turn these lines as well to a specific color. So we could do dark orange to signify that's Pinterest. And then with YouTube, we could signify it with the logo color being red. So we could do red. And Instagram, forget what the logo color is, but it doesn't matter. We're just gonna make it purple. Facebook being blue, or actually Facebook is dark blue. And I'm gonna change the font color to white. Twitter's sort of a light blue and has a bird. And then blog, we're just gonna make that, let's say pink, green, yellow. We'll just do kind of a medium yellow color. Okay. Now for the ones that are dark here, I'm going to change the font to white. And I'm going to bold them just so that it's easier to see. All right. So by this point, we have said every time we upload to Pinterest, it will auto post to Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and blog. In fact, we can just write that if you want to. So auto post, and type that here, and then here as well. So then we know exactly what to do. So we upload here, and then we auto post here. Now, when you look at the automation apps, what they're going to ask you to do is to find a kind of what happens, like a trigger and then an action. So trigger would be initially like, if I were to like kick a bucket of water, what would happen? Then the action is the water would spill over, the bucket will spill over, and the water would spill out, right? So that's essentially what you want to do. So if I kick the bucket of water, then the bucket of water spills over. So in this case, if I upload to Pinterest, then it auto posts that content on Pinterest to Instagram. If I upload to Pinterest, it copies it to Facebook, Twitter, and blog. So that's essentially the analogy that I want to give you so that you can understand what a trigger is and an action is. So you'll see that in just a minute when I use the automation tool. Okay, so at this point, we need to go back over here and we'll speed it up a little bit. So we got YouTube to Pinterest, Facebook, and Twitter. So let's do that. So we got Pinterest, Facebook, and Twitter. All right, so Pinterest, Facebook, and Twitter. So these three items here. So YouTube, we link it to here. We link it to here. And let's see how we not make it so it's not messy. We link it here. So I'm going to make these red, the same color as this box, so we can see like that. All right. So we got Pinterest, Facebook, and Twitter. Good. Now I'm going to say auto post again, just so we know. Like that. Okay, good. So we got red, red, red. So 3 spots. So Pinterest, Facebook, and Twitter. So we check over here, Facebook, Pinterest, and Twitter. Okay, good. So now we've got that done. We've got Instagram. So we've got Instagram to Facebook. And the rest of these are empty. So Facebook or Instagram to Facebook. So that's going to be here to here. So to make sure it's not too messy, I'm going to link it over here, like in the back. So that's the nice thing about Lucidchart is it locks in, tries to make it as easy as possible and as All right, so we got that and auto post, and there we go. So we now have a visual map as to what we need to do. All right, so we've taken all that. So the next thing we have is blog. So if you wanted to get more complex, you could have all of these. When any of these happen, you could post any of these to the blog. But for the sake of simplicity, I'm just going to leave it as it is. All right, so let's move on to the next video and talk about the different automation tools that are available to you.